What is something your partner has done while going down on you that made you think, wow, I could add this to a book called 100 Ways Not to Go Down on Someone? Lol, sticking a tongue inside, kinda mimicking the penis. Absolutely pointless and embarrassingly weird. It wasn't my partner but a guy the first was going to hook up with, so my good friend could try to hook up with the guy the first was with roommate. We made out for a bit, then he went to go down south. Before beginning he reached his hand way back and open hand slapped my lady bits hard. Then he said, "That's a bad lil pussy ain't it?" "No sir, she's a good girl who just got physically assaulted and I'm taking her home now, thanks." My ex tugged on my hair there, it was short, like not even a week after shaving, and made demeaning comments about it and suggested I actually clean myself up next time, then looked extremely surprised I didn't want to continue things. Christ lol. I don't shave, wax because I have very sensitive skin and it's super painful, so I just say any guy I'm fucking is getting whatever pussy I got in stock. Unless you've been granted explicit permission, do not bite. My ex liked to give oral for like 3 minutes and then either try to jump right into PIV or, more often, would roll over and go my turn. He wanted full-on BJs, BTW. Porn-level gagging and slurping and to completion. I guess he thought 3 minutes earned him that. I stopped wanting oral from him due to the transactional nature and then stopped bothering with sex as well. I wonder if he stopped being a selfish, worthless lover since then. It took me years to break free from the negative association I had with oral, both giving and receiving. Honestly, just not being open to what I'm asking and thinking he knows exactly what he's doing. Like, if I'm telling you I like X, Y, and X and you think you know better and do A, B, and C. I don't like that. We met up unexpectedly last minute, because we both had other plans that fell through. Guy goes down on me kind of unexpectedly, we were getting hot and heavy, but I didn't ask him to or ever said in the past that he has to. Suddenly he stops doing it, looks at me, from in between my legs mind you, and says he's not satisfied with my level of shaving and that he will not be giving me oral in the future if I don't improve. The first thing out of my mouth was, well, from what I've seen so far, I'm not sure that's worth shaving for. Like dude, I get that you have preferences and that's fine, and I'm all about communicating with your partner, but maybe think about the timing a bit. Intensely staring up at me to watch my reaction, very uncomfortable. Also reaching up and choking without prior discussion. My ex would get so upset if I didn't finish within an appropriate time limit. I still get self-conscious about how long it takes me because of him. Licking the lip instead of clit. It's happened more times than should be legal. He fell asleep while he was going down on me once. Still haven't recovered emotionally from that one. Motor boating or chin rubbing up and down does nothing. Actually, it does negatively to the experience. The chin rubbing is double awful if they have stubble. There's nothing quite like getting your bit sandpapered. He bit my clit. It was 10 years ago and it still makes me wince when I think about it. Spent quite a while just licking my vulva. Thought he was just teasing until he came up and asked if I was close yet. In retrospect, probably shouldn't have expected much from him because he couldn't find my clit despite trying very hard for weeks. Rhythmically rubbing his tongue and fingers over the opening to my urethra repeatedly, and then arguing with me that, women like this, when I asked him to stop because it doesn't do anything for me and is a good way to get a UTI. Just a suggestion, but if someone tells you they're not enjoying something, don't tell them that they're wrong. Trust that a person knows their own body and the things they find pleasurable way better than you do. It's not really the worst, but I think a guy who doesn't make use of his hands, fingers at the same time is really missing out. You can easily bring it to a next-level orgasm with oral manual stimulation. Not relaxing their tongue and it was painful cause it was so stiff. I might as well had grabbed a stick out of the yard. It would have felt the same. I went to pee afterwards and when I went to wipe, I got snagged in my hair. I pulled out something sticky and was like, what the fuck? I smelled it because why not, and that's when I realized my idiot ex didn't take his gum out of his mouth before he went down on me. Licking the clit like if he's desperate to see me come. Nice and slow is the right way to go for me. This Slow the F down. Jesus. This is not a race to see how quickly you can numb my clit into oblivion. Like god damn, it's not a scratch-off ticket. Same. Slow the F down on the clit. It's sensitive and doesn't like a stiff motorboat situation. Christ. He licked me for a few minutes, stopped, and tried to rip out an ingrown hair from my privates. Like straight up pinching and scratching my skin. He wondered why I wasn't in the mood anymore. This is terrible and he sucks, but I am crying with laughter. Tried to apply all known techniques simultaneously. If he's got a beard, there's a right and a wrong way to use it. Christ, my ex would leave me feeling like I dragged myself across the carpet like a dog, and it was just fucking ouch. I actually hated receiving oral for the longest time because of that. Thank goodness my husband knows what he's doing. Seriously though, any dude that doesn't actively take the time to gauge whether or not you seem to be enjoying something and just as what he thinks ought to feel nice as prob just gonna leave you contemplating the merits of swearing off the whole damn idea for good. And if you've never had a dude treat you right in that department and are unsure of what to even ask for, I recommend having a woman show you what you're missing. Takes one to know one, you know? Not finding the clit, thinking another area is the clit, lapping up the entire area and never doing it right. Using a finger to jackhammer. Ouch. Suck my coochie lips into his braces. Speeding up and moving his tongue side to side despite my numerous talks of telling him going fast does not work. And the side-to-side thing on my clit is just perplexing. Other than that, our sex life is amazing. It's just these two things. Well, moaning. I wish men were taught it's okay to moan. Why are they all so quiet? Spitting. No thanks. Your tongue is wet, and hopefully I am too. So I'm good lol. Going too hard. Fast right at the beginning. I totally blame porn for this. Some super stiff, fast tongue is supposed to imply it being eager and hot? The woman is fake moaning in porn and in real life, it feels terrible. It needs a work up, start slow and build. Never a stiff tongue. I like to think of it as fast and semi-light, and once again, needs to build up to that intensity. I really hope men are reading this. Looked up at me, and in his best Guy Fieri voice said, "Welcome to Flavortown." Was very difficult to see him sexually after that. Completely changing speed, pressure, direction when I'm close to coming. I had a guy do this to me 3 times one night. I didn't have a single orgasm, and by the 3rd time, I was ready to cry and or crush his stupid head with my thighs. He licked everything but the clit. I was in 69 and my ex literally farted in my face. She found it hilarious. Telling someone to close their eyes before surprising them with a mouthful of toothpaste against their cooch. Don't do that please. Made it transactional and low effort. He would give me 3 minutes or less of outer labia licking, even after I would move him to my clit or tell him that didn't feel good. Try here. Then stop and immediately try to do PIV. It didn't feel good, and when I asked him about it, if he didn't like giving oral, he said he loves it and loves doing it. Meanwhile he's never gone down on me since, and has said no the one time I asked. I just stopped asking because I hated it and felt ashamed because he either didn't seem to care about my pleasure or didn't care enough to listen to me and my body. Asked why it was taking so long. After about 5 minutes. Then sighing loudly. I stopped letting him go down on me at all after that. He's a great man but gives off harsh waiting for a late bus and I have places to be vibes. Yikes. Turn that shit around and tell him if he did it right, then we'd be through this already. He kept humming into my nether regions like he was trying to play a kazoo. At one point I finally just snapped and said, "It's not a kazoo, honey," and he looked so confused. That doesn't feel good? No, kind of like I've told you the few other times you've tried it? He was remarkably good and enthusiastic otherwise, which pisses me off, given that he cheated on me. Why must I associate that pleasure with his dumb ass? So I truly do not understand. But it does make me laugh now. Sort of. Please do not try and make eye contact with me because I will 100% get taken out of the situation and not be interested anymore. Went on a few dates with a guy and eventually had sex. He told me he had never gone down on a girl before. He was in his early 30s. And I was like, oh okay, like a bit surprised, but he was pretty quiet and reserved. Then I said, have you ever been blown? And he's like, peesh of course. And I was like, wow, this guy is a total douche, or he's lying I guess. I asked him if he wanted to try going down on me. The lights were off and it literally didn't feel like he was doing anything. I tried to direct him on how to do it, but it still felt like nothing. Maybe he was scared, haha. Needless to say, I did not continue seeing him.